So Arsenal's fixtures for the 25-26 season was released yesterday, yeah. And I won't lie to anyone, yeah. It's looking a bit tricky. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. I hope you're feeling good, hope you're feeling great. I thought, let me just do a quick video talking about Arsenal's Premier League campaign for next season. Now it's all been released. I haven't looked through everything, but I have looked at what I regard to be the most important parts, which is the first 6 games and then the final 6 games of the Premier League season. And before, I give my opinions on anything, I just want to make it clear that, look, you have to play everybody twice. There is no easy game in the Premier League. Every game is going to be very hard. And the only real kind of gripe that I've got personally with the fixture list is that the first 6 games, it's going to be really hard for us to build momentum. That's the only thing. When you have hard fixtures at the beginning of a season, it makes it really difficult to build momentum. And I feel like momentum is the most important thing to get at the start of any season. And look, I would say the last few seasons, the first 10 games, we've kind of been slow. Be it as it may, we've got results here and there. More performance-wise, it's taken us a bit to build into a season, for whatever reason that may be. And maybe one of the solutions now going forward is where we've taken a kind of measured, steady kind of approach to the transfer window. Maybe we now go, time to speed up business because we need to get everybody in early into pre-season and start drilling in what the plan is going to be for the start of the Premier League season. So, look, Arsenal's first 6 games is Manchester United at Old Trafford, 4:30. Yeah. Then it's Leeds at the Emirates. Then it's Liverpool at Anfield. Then it's Nottingham Forest at the Emirates. And then it's Manchester City at the Emirates. And then it's Newcastle at St. James Park. Now, cool. Let's start with the Manchester United at Old Trafford. Look, we're going to Old Trafford on the first game of the season to face a team that has a massive, massive, massive point to prove. Because they was woeful last season. Yeah. And as we know, they're going through, I guess you could call it a rebuild. They stuck with Amorim. They're like, no, Amorim, you're the guy. Even though you flopped insanely coming in, we're going to invest. We're going to give you your crop of players. We're going to continue with your idea. And obviously he's going to get a full pre-season really drilling in to those Manchester United players, what he expects, what the system demands. And obviously people are going to get more accustomed and more comfortable with what that is. Now, off the top of my head, I think the last few times we've gone to Old Trafford, it hasn't it's been quite favourable for us. I don't think we've lost there the last 3 times we've gone there. I think it's the last 3 times we've gone there off the top of my head. So it's not scary in the sense that it's United. It's not scary in the sense that it's Old Trafford. The thing that is kind of scary is that it's the first game of the season. There's no warm up or building. And I'm pretty sure some Manchester United fans feel the same way. They're probably looking at it from the reverse of, our first game of the season is Arsenal. So they're probably looking at all the business that we're going to do. They're probably going to look at how our pre-season goes. And they're probably going to be looking at that with 2 feelings. One of excitement. It's an exciting game. It's definitely the most exciting game at the start of the Premier League. Probably why it's the last game. But they're also probably looking at it with the sense of fear. We have to. This is the thing. Arsenal has to win their first game, but so does Manchester United. And that's where it kind of makes it very tricky because one team will lose. I don't think this will be a draw. I think already, first game of the season, I think there'll be too much at stake. I think everyone's going to come out of their hatches wanting to prove a point. Everyone's going to be really energized. There's going to be two systems tactically battling out against each other. Going to be a chess match. It's going to be blockbuster. I can't lie. And then obviously Leeds at home. Leeds at home I think it's a win. No disrespect to Leeds. Leeds is going to be a difficult game. Their fans, I think some of the best fans across English football, really get behind their team. They travel well, always loud. You can always hear them. They mash up the place. They mash up the place. But, again, Leeds are probably looking at this like, oh, raw, second game of the season, we have to go to the Emirates. That's a tricky game. Very tricky game. So I do think it'll be a difficult game, but I think Arsenal got that one. Then we have to go to Anfield. Third game of the season. We have to go to Anfield. Now, I've got mixed feelings about this because part of me is highly annoyed that I have to go to Anfield, third game of the season where I'm trying to build up momentum and trying to get like some back-to-back wins under my belt. But I'm also happy that I'm going to Anfield so early. I'm super happy I'm going to Anfield so early. I don't know when the return fixture is. Wait, let me quickly look. When's the return fixture? The return fixture is the 7th of January. Okay, so I don't, not that I don't have to worry, but like Liverpool are going to play no part in any title race that I have because I face them home and away before the title race even begins. Assuming I'll be in one, because who knows? Who knows where Arsenal will be this season? I think it's way too early to judge, and I don't even know fully what type of business we're going to be doing, so who knows? But under the premise of like how the last few seasons have gone, I would expect Arsenal and Liverpool to be up there, and Liverpool can play no part in deciding whether I do or do not win the Premier League, which is a positive. And I mean, I think the last 2-3 times I've gone to Anfield, I've left with a draw. I haven't won there. Maybe this is the best opportunity for me to win at Anfield. Because it's third game of the season, there's no momentum. They've got nothing to... They haven't gone through a long stretch of games where they've been winning. I don't even know how many games at Anfield they have prior to that. This might be their second game at Anfield. I highly doubt they would have got 3 home games on the bounce. I haven't seen their fixture list, but I highly doubt they would have got 3 games on the bounce. So, yeah, cool. Boom, that's them. Then, Nottingham Forest at home. I don't think Nottingham Forest are going to have anywhere near the type of season that they had this season. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near as strong as what they were. And because I'm facing them at home, for me, 3 points in the bag. I can't lie to you. And based on their business I've seen them do so far, it looks like they're trying to be more of that flary, attacky type of team. Igor, Jesus, all of that. They're trying to play on the front foot. I personally, I don't fear that. But hey, when the season starts and we get to that game, maybe Nottingham Forest have got 3 wins and they go into that and we've got 2 losses and then the whole landscape is different. Then we have Man City at home, which is why I have to play Manchester United, Liverpool and Man City within the first 5 games. Crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But again, I'm excited about that one. It's nice to play them super early. The only negative is we go to the Etihad within the last 6 games of the season, which could prove to be very, very detrimental to our season. But I think the last few times I think the last 3 times at the Emirates we beat them. I think. Or maybe it's a draw and 2 wins. So look, I don't fear Man City the way I used to fear Man City when we had certain men in our team. Certain defenders and all of that. Like, I feel like we're defensively sound. I feel like at home, more often than not, we can beat them. But it is going to be a tricky game nonetheless. And then the scariest game, in my opinion, in the first 6 games, the scariest game, and that is Newcastle at St James's Park, because I do not do well at St James's Park. That is the hardest fixture. The hardest fixture. We need to break that hoodoo, voodoo, whatever it is. Yeah? Because I played them 3 times. Wait. No. I played them twice. So I played them 4 times last season. I lost 3 times, won once, and scored only in one of those games, I believe. I lost every single time at St James's Park. I believe they kept a clean sheet every single time. Eddie Howe just seems to know how to crack Arteta. He's got his number. That's definitely a hoodoo voodoo that I need to conquer. But hey, Isak might leave this season. Gordon might leave this season. Then I'm facing an entirely different kind of setup, highly different proposition. And again, by then, who knows what Arsenal have done? Who knows what Newcastle have done? But in my opinion, that is probably a loss. I'll just call it a nice and early. That's probably a loss. So from those first 6 games, I'm going for a win at Old Trafford. I'm going for a win against Leeds. I'm going for a draw at Anfield. I'm going for a win against Nottingham Forest. I'm going for... As it stands right now, I'm going for a draw against Manchester City. And then as it stands right now, I'm going for a loss against Newcastle. So the first 18 points available, I'm getting about 11. Now, looking at the last 6 games of the season, we got Man City away on the 18th of April. Mad. Who knows what the landscape is then, but to go to the Etihad that late in the season, Man City are going to have a point to prove. Man City are going to have a major part in what happens with my season, and I'm not liking that. I'll keep it 100. I'm not liking that at all. Then we face Newcastle at home. So back to back is crazy. Man City, Newcastle. Do you know what? Both times in this season, I'm facing Man City and Newcastle back to back. I just clocked that. That's crazy. But Newcastle at home, it's more favourable to me. Usually I beat them at my ground. Obviously in the Carabao Cup last season, it was a different story. But in the Premier League, I usually beat them at the Emirates. We then have Fulham at home, which is a tricky game. Can't underestimate them. But because it's the 2nd of May, their season might be done by then. And if we come off the back of 2 victories in the previous games, I think we'll go into that home game with a lot of confidence. West Ham away, I expect a win. I don't fear that game at all. The same with Burnley. Burnley at home, no disrespect. They probably would have been long relegated by then. So I don't think they'll pose too much of a threat. And the final game of the season, Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, tricky. Very tricky. Very, very tricky. I can't lie. But next season, they're in Europa. Next season, they're in Europa, and who knows, they could go pretty far into Europa. And if they do go pretty far into Europa and their league campaign isn't as strong, maybe they're hanging about anywhere from 8th to 10th, not really playing for much, putting all of their eggs into the winning Champions League qualification through winning the Europa. That could be a win. However, on the flip side, if they're having a really strong Premier League season, they've been knocked out of the Europa League and kind of all their eggs are in the basket of let's finish as high in the league as possible, that could be a loss. It could be. But it does weigh heavily on whether the likes of Eze is still there. Their team might get stripped. Is Wharton still there? Who knows? Because there's a January transfer window. They could get raided. So, I don't know. I'll be so real. The Man City at Etihad, as it stands right now, and don't shoot me Arsenal fans, I think that's a loss. The home game against Newcastle, I think we win that. The Fulham game, I think we win that. West Ham game, I think we win that. Burnley game, I think we win that. And the Crystal Palace game, as it stands right now, because I don't know what scenario they'll be in, I'm going to go with a draw at Selhurst Park. So that's what, out of a possible 18, that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. So that's 13 points out of the last 6 games, which ain't too bad. So look, I guess just to wrap up, we got a tricky first 6 games. We've got a tricky last 6 games. Not as tricky as the first 6, but it's still up there. But yeah, like I said at the start, we have to play everyone twice. I'm excited going into this season. You know, obviously my opinions may change the closer we get to it kicking off, because who knows who we have, what we have, so on and so forth. Who knows, by the time we get to April, we may even be in a position of power where if we just cruise and don't do anything mad, we can go and win the league. Who knows what happens? But people, let me know your thoughts on the Arsenal fixture list. How you feeling? And yeah, bring on 25-26.